How to harmonize body and spirit. Imagine yourself not just as a physical being, but as a radiant light, a traveler who chose to experience life on this earth. This story begins far beyond the stars, and it is a story about you. Let's explore one of the most profound truths we can experience as human beings, the harmony between our physical and spiritual selves. We'll dive into the relationship between the body, mind, and spirit, looking at how these parts connect, blend, and make us whole. The choice to experience physical life. Each and every one of us made a choice that may have seemed so simple at the time, yet it was profound. We, as spiritual beings, decided to experience physical reality. We chose to live lives that are grounded in the material world. Why? Because from the non-physical perspective of our spirit, there is an incredible richness in the challenges, joys, and discoveries that physical existence provides. Our spirits long to experience what it feels like to touch, to taste, to laugh, to love, and even to face the challenges that life throws at us. When we made this choice from the spirit world, it wasn't just a random decision. There was a process, a meticulous preparation that allowed our journey into the physical world to happen. Imagine a great cosmic blueprint, one that exists in a reality just above the physical, in a realm sometimes referred to as the template level. The template level. Laying the foundation. This template level is a realm where the energy is not as dense as it is here in the physical world, but it's also not as light and fluid as the highest spiritual realms. It is a sort of in-between place, and it's here where the first steps of our physical life begin. In this place, the energy vibrations slow down just enough to begin shaping the themes and experiences that will become the essence of our physical existence. Before we even set foot into our earthly bodies, we begin to set the stage for the scenarios, themes, and challenges we will explore. These decisions are made in the template realm, where we blueprint the lives we will lead. This process is automatic and occurs whether or not we are fully conscious of it. We create certain life patterns and agreements with others, preparing the stage for our physical reality, so that when we are born, these scenarios begin to unfold seamlessly. From spirit to physical body. Once we have laid out the blueprint for our life in the template reality, our spirit passes through this template, crystallizing itself into physical form. This is the moment when our non-physical consciousness begins to bond with the physical body. Picture it as putting on a diving suit before plunging into the ocean. As we descend into the density of physical existence, we put on layers that help us navigate this new world. Layers of the mind, the emotions, and the body itself. This process of crystallization is not just a metaphor, it's a literal fusion of our spiritual energy with the physical world. By passing through the template, we absorb the attributes of the reality we've chosen. We take on the qualities of this world and begin to shape ourselves according to the agreed-upon rules of physical existence. At this point, we start forming the body, mind, and emotions that will carry us through life. It's as though we are fitting into a mold that we helped design. Our consciousness flows into the physical body, bringing with it the energy patterns and experiences we've chosen to explore. The creation of the physical mind. As we bond with the physical body, an important transformation takes place. The formation of the physical mind. This mind will be our primary tool for navigating the world. It's the part of us that thinks, plans, and feels. But this mind doesn't exist alone. It has a counterpart, the higher mind or spirit mind, that remains connected to the spiritual realms. Together, these two parts create the whole of who we are. The physical mind is like a mask, allowing us to focus on the physical world. Its job is to keep us grounded in our day-to-day experiences. It helps us focus on the tasks, goals, and challenges of life. And it often does this so well that we can forget that there's another part of us, the higher mind, that sees beyond the immediate struggles and joys of life. The higher mind, our divine guide. Our higher mind, meanwhile, remains connected to the spiritual realms. It is like the diver's companion who stays on the boat, guiding us as we plunge into the depths of the ocean. The higher mind can see farther than the physical mind, and it knows the twists and turns that our journey will take. It understands the broader picture, the reasons we chose this life, the themes we want to explore, and the lessons we're here to learn. The relationship between the physical and higher mind is crucial to living as a whole person. When the two work in harmony, life flows effortlessly. We move in sync with our highest purpose, and the challenges of life don't overwhelm us because we can always rely on the higher mind to guide us. However, many of us have forgotten how to communicate with our higher mind. This forgetfulness, born of the density of the physical world, creates a sense of disconnection, and it's this disconnection that leads to fear, doubt, and the feeling of being lost. The role of the ego. Let's talk about this important player in our journey. The ego is often misunderstood. It's not the enemy, nor is it something to be destroyed. The ego is simply the part of our mind that keeps us focused on the physical world. Think of it as the diving mask we wear underwater. It brings the world into focus, allowing us to navigate the physical reality effectively. But here's where things can go awry. The ego, in its effort to keep us grounded, can sometimes forget that it's not the only part of us. It can start to think that it's in charge of everything. This is when fear sets in. The ego begins to think that it must control every aspect of our lives, and it takes on a burden it was never meant to carry. It tries to figure out how everything will happen, how every desire will manifest, and it often becomes stressed, fearful, and overwhelmed. The ego is like a child who, when left alone for too long, starts to think it has to handle everything by itself. It forgets that there's a higher mind, a greater intelligence, guiding the journey. And in this forgetfulness, the ego becomes fearful, reinforcing limiting beliefs that keep us trapped in cycles of doubt, anxiety, and frustration. Reconnecting with the higher mind. So how do we reconnect with the higher mind? How do we remind the ego that it's not alone, that it doesn't have to carry the burden of life by itself? The key is trust. Trust in the higher mind, trust in the process of life, and trust in the flow of the universe. The higher mind communicates with us through feelings, intuitions, and flashes of insight. These are often subtle, and they require us to quiet the ego and listen to the deeper part of ourselves. This is why practices like meditation, mindfulness, and creative expression are so important. They create the space for the higher mind to be heard. When we align with the higher mind, life begins to flow more smoothly. We stop trying to force things to happen, and instead we allow the synchronicities of life to guide us. We realize that we don't have to know how everything will unfold. That's the job of the higher mind. Our job is to follow the breadcrumbs of joy, excitement, and passion that the higher mind leaves for us. The importance of imagination. Imagination is the bridge between the physical and higher mind. It's the pipeline through which inspiration flows. But when the ego becomes too dense, it can shut down this pipeline, dismissing imagination as irrelevant or unrealistic. The ego wants to rely on logic, facts, and control, but in doing so, it cuts off the flow of inspiration from the higher mind. Imagination allows us to see beyond the limitations of our current reality. It opens us up to new possibilities, new ways of thinking, and new solutions to old problems. When we trust our imagination, we open the door to the higher mind and allow it to guide us toward our highest potential. Living as a whole person. Being a whole person means living in harmony with both the physical and higher mind. It means embracing the ego for the role it plays in keeping us grounded, while also trusting the higher mind to guide us through the bigger picture of our lives. It means allowing our imagination to flow freely, opening ourselves to the infinite possibilities that life has to offer. Living as a whole person is not about achieving perfection, it's about balance. It's about recognizing that we are both human and divine, physical and spiritual, limited and limitless. When we embrace this truth, life becomes a dance, a joyful exploration of the infinite possibilities that exist within us. The power of choice. Remember, you are never stuck. At any moment, you have the power to choose a new path, a new way of thinking, a new way of being. The ego may try to convince you that you are trapped by your circumstances, but the higher mind knows better. It sees the vastness of your potential and the endless opportunities that await you. All it takes is a shift in perspective, a willingness to trust the higher mind, to listen to the whispers of your soul, and to follow the path of joy and excitement. When you do this, you align with the flow of the universe, and life becomes a beautiful, effortless journey of discovery. Becoming whole. Being a whole person is about integration, bringing together the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of yourself into a harmonious whole. It's about recognizing that you are both a divine being and a human being, and that both parts are equally important in your journey. When you live from this place of wholeness, you experience life in a completely new way. The challenges no longer feel insurmountable, the joys are deeper, and the connections you make with yourself and others are more meaningful. You become the creator of your reality, guided by both the wisdom of the higher mind and the practicality of the physical mind. So, embrace your wholeness, trust in the journey, and remember that you are never alone. The higher mind is always with you, guiding you toward the fulfillment of your highest potential. All you have to do is listen, trust, and take the next step forward. If you like the content here at Telos, please consider to subscribe and hit the notifications bell. To support the channel, buy me a coffee, link in the description, or send super thanks from the menu below the video. From the bottom of my heart to all of your hearts, I thank you for your support.